Well, I bet you're wondering what the heck are they showing that picture for? It's rather boring and lifeless, but it's very important. It's the City of Springfield Stormwater Improvement Project, designed to prevent designed to prevent flooding, and but to Audubon members, it spelled trouble for a beautiful area immediately west of the area, and since the across National Street. So since the one of the goals of the Audubon chapter is the preservation and restoration of habitat, we began to take an interest in what was going to happen to that beautiful area in McDaniel Park. And so we began a campaign to see what we could do. And we enlisted the aid of this wonderful 95-year-old woman, Rebecca Matthews, who for 30 years had been writing a column in the Springfield News Leader about birds and birding, and she was a pioneer member of the Audubon chapter. And Becky wrote a heart-tugging story about that beautiful little oasis that we all love to bird in. And it's Lee McDaniel Park, and there's an area of South Creek, which is that stormwater slide that you saw. And it is a verdant little paradise with trees overarching and a beautiful creek, South Creek, running nearby. So we began our campaign by asking Becky to write an article in the paper, and she wrote a beautiful article, and it stirred up a lot of public interest. And so then we talked to Mark Thornsberry at the City of Springfield and said, what can Audubon do to preserve that beautiful little habitat? And Mark was very enthusiastic and said, we'd love to partner with you. So in 1999, the Audubon chapter adopted that section of South Creek that runs parallel to Sunset between National and Camel. And our part of the bargain was to keep the creek flowing and to clean out the stream bed, the leaves and trash and trees and limbs and twigs and so forth that can clog a stream pretty easily. So this is a picture of the stream. The picture before this was the inviting little Ozark Greenways trail that leads into this very wooded section of the creek. So we knew what we had to do, but we didn't know how to do it until Kay Johnson, a member of our chapter, stepped up. And Kay is a master gardener, he's a wonderful photographer, he's a wildflower expert, and he encouraged people to come and assist and help. So Kay recruited everybody he could see. He recruited Audubon members, little old ladies, people he saw in grocery stores, and Boy Scouts, and his masterpiece achievement was 200 kids from the Lutheran school with their teachers. So he managed that all right. This is a pile of residue from cleaning out the creek, and the City of Springfield comes by after we've had a cleanup day and picks it up. Now, not everybody, not Auduboners are not the only ones that enjoy this part of the creek. This wonderful gentleman and his service dog walk the creek, or scooter the creek, several times a week. He said to me, tell the Audubon members how much we are enjoying what they're doing to keep the creek flowing and save the habitat. I said to him, what kind of birds have you seen here? And he said, my favorite was 2 turkeys. So he's on his way to being a birder. Now this, this is Myra Scroggs, who took over as work crew boss, and she and I are going to do a little bird quiz for you. Now this is a barred owl. I don't know how many of you might know this bird, but when you go out at night and look for the bird, you can't see him, so you want to hear him. And this is what he hears. This is what he sounds like. Woo, 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 ah. And Myra's going to tell you about the cardinal pair that you see behind you.
Let's go ahead with the next bird, our downy woodpeckers now.
This is a female downy woodpecker, and the reason I know it's a female is if it were a male, it would have a little red cap on the back of its head. And woodpeckers are very helpful to humans because they clean the world up of a lot of insects. And here's Myra's next bird.
Okay, here's a ruby-throated hummingbird. We were lucky enough a year ago, last summer, that a female hummingbird built her nest of spider webs and lichen right over the South Creek Trail, so that any of us who wanted to photograph or go and watch the activities of that nest were able to keep up with it.
And does anyone know what this bird is?
Yellow-crowned night heron.
Yellow-crowned night heron. Must be an Auduboner. Hard to see among the twigs and branches. But this bird is sort of had a beginning colony over by Wickman's Gardens on 4th Street, but it's been expanding its range and moving southward, and we think it nested on the creek. Oh, and this one's mine too. The yellow warbler. This is a spring migrant that is a beautiful little yellow bird with black stripes down its side, and we always look forward to seeing it in the spring.
This is a Baltimore oriole. This is one of the beautiful neotropical migrants that we see in the spring coming through. And if you'd like to attract this bird to your yard, you could do so by putting out oranges and even grape jelly in the spring when migration is going on. And you might have that for a yard bird. Now there's good news about South Creek, and that is that our project's been so successful that Public Works is even interested in expanding it west of Campbell Street. So our project is good for providing wildlife habitat, but it also slows the runoff from storm waters, and it improves water quality. Another bit of good news is that if you would like to come and help us, you could tomorrow afternoon. We're going to work from 1 to 4 down at McDaniel Park. Wear sturdy shoes and gloves, and we will do kinds of things like trim trees. Our volunteers pick up trash, pull downed limbs out of the creek, and we fight invasive exotic species constantly. Things like Johnson grass, bush honeysuckle, Bradford pear, and even Rose of Sharon. So come and walk along the, I'm surprised. Come and walk the South Creek Trail, and you'll find a little bit of nature that's hidden away in just plain sight along South Creek.
I already have one volunteer. Mike Childs said he'd try to come. Thank you all.